Welcome back to the Crafty Yarn Barn. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make the slip stitch cord and the double slip stitch cord. Cords can be used in so many different ways in projects that you're either sewing or crocheting or knitting. They can be embellishments or appliques onto a project. You can use them if you're making shirts or backpacks as a drawstring or a tie-off. You can use them as handles or shoulder straps for purses or bags. They're so versatile. The slip stitch cord, you put it on the measuring mat here and you can see that it's 1/4 of an inch wide. Now the double slip stitch cord, when you measure it, it's at 1/2 an inch wide. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make these. The materials that you need are some yarn, a crochet hook, and some scissors. The yarn that I'm using is Caron Simply Soft. It's just a white yarn. It's a medium 4-ply yarn. The hook size that it calls for is a H8 hook, 5 milliliter. And side note for you, if you want to make a really tight cord, you can drop your hook size down to one size smaller than what the yarn calls for that you're making. So if you want to make it a little bit tighter, you would drop down and use a G hook rather than the H8 hook. The double slip stitch cord is just 1 row bigger than the slip stitch cord. So you would make the slip stitch cord, make a turn, and come back the other way, and that creates the double slip stitch cord. So let's go ahead and get started. First, I'll show you how to make the slip stitch cord. Then I'll show you what you would need to do to turn and make an additional row in order to make the larger size cord. So this one is 1/4 of an inch wide. This one is approximately 1/2 an inch wide. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we need to make our slip knot. When you're making your foundation chain for your slip stitch cord, you need to determine how long the cord is that you're needing for whatever project, and that determines the size of your foundation chain. So once you measure the length of the cord that you need, then you would determine how many chains you need it to be. For today's tutorial, I'm just going to chain 12 just to give you an idea of how to make the cord. So let's go ahead and chain. We're going to yarn over, pull it through the loop that's on your hook. That's 1 chain. You're going to yarn over, pull it through the loop again. That's 2, and you're going to continue on for the length that you need for your foundation chain. I'm going to chain 12. Now we're down to the end of our foundation chain for the length that you desire. To turn the other way, you're going to slip stitch all the way back down your foundation chain. So in the second chain from the hook, you're going to do a slip stitch. Here's your first chain, and you need to go to your second chain. Put your crochet hook into that chain. You're going to yarn over, pull the yarn through. Now you've got 2 loops on your hook. You're going to go ahead and pull that first loop through the second loop. That's your slip stitch. You're going to go to the next foundation chain and you're going to do another slip stitch. And you're going to do this all the way down your foundation chain, all the way to the very end. So when you get to the end, I'll see you there in just a moment. Okay, I'm about to slip stitch into the very last foundation chain on the row. Now that's your slip stitch cord. To fasten off your work, you would clip your yarn and you would yarn over, pull that yarn through the loop all the way through, and pull your yarn tight. That fastens off your work. Now you would either get your yarn needle and sew these into your cord to hide these tails, or you would use these tails to sew this onto whatever project you're working on. It would just depend on what you're doing. So that's your slip stitch cord. Now I'm going to show you how to make your double slip stitch cord. Okay, that's your slip stitch cord. How to make your double slip stitch cord. Once you've completed the last slip stitch onto the foundation chain, What you're going to do to continue on to make the wider double slip stitch cord is you're going to do one more slip stitch into that last foundation chain. So there's going to be 2 slip stitches into that last foundation row. Then you're going to turn and you're going to go back the other way. So in each of these stitches of your foundation row on the opposite side, you're going to do another slip stitch all the way down. So you're going to go into the very next chain and you're going to slip stitch and you're going to make your way all the way back down that foundation chain to the very end, and I'll show you what to do to finish off your work. I'll see you there in just a moment. I have one more chain left on that foundation row. I do my slip stitch and now I'm going to fasten off my work the same way that I did for the slip stitch cord. I'm going to clip my yarn. I'm going to yarn over and pull that yarn all the way through that loop, and I'm going to pull it tight. So there's my double slip stitch cord. So you've got tails at both ends. Just like the slip stitch cord, you can leave them there and use this to help sew onto your project, or you can get a yarn needle and weave those tails into the back of your cord. So thank you for watching. I hope this tutorial helps you. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. If you have any requests for projects for the future, I'd be happy to hear from you. See what type of tutorials you would like me to create for you. Have a great, wonderful day. God bless, and I'll see you soon. Happy crocheting.